This week on Healthy Living, we weigh in on the benefits and challenges of breastfeeding as experts call for more support for new mothers. A community of breastfeeding women in Uganda offers a lifeline to new mothers. And viewers weigh in on breastfeeding duration and how men can provide some support. Plus, the Zoe Foundation offers hope to Malawi's orphans affected by the HIV/AIDS epidemic. All this and much more in this edition of Healthy Living. Hello, I'm Linoch Mudu. Thank you for joining us for another edition of Healthy Living. Breastfeeding is an ideal source of nutrition for infants with a mix of vitamins, protein, and fat. According to the WHO, the antibodies in breast milk protect babies against illness and death during the critical period of early growth and development. But experts say many women cannot breastfeed their babies for medical reasons or because they do not receive the support they need to properly breastfeed their children. We start in Uganda, where a community of breastfeeding women is giving hope to mothers struggling to feed their newborn babies and keep them alive due to some personal health struggle. But there are challenges. Halima Atumani and Mukasa Francis have the report from Uganda's capital, Kampala.
In March this year, Babazi Resti, a mother of two, had a near-death experience that left her suffering from anxiety and trauma for 6 weeks. 36 weeks pregnant, Resti was discovered to have placenta previa grade 4, a condition in which a mother's placenta lies over her cervix. She was hospitalized with a uterus rupture and internal bleeding and had to undergo an emergency C-section to save the baby. As the baby fought for his life, Resti suffered a cardiac arrest and was placed on life support in the intensive care unit, ICU. Resti woke up 2 days later to find out that her premature baby, who weighed only 2.2 kilograms or 4.8 pounds, needed breast milk that she was unable to provide because of her medical condition.
And later, he was given powdered milk, but unfortunately, he faced a condition called NEC stage 1, whereby he wouldn't digest the powdered milk well. So he was supposed to get breast milk. So the fact that I was in ICU, I couldn't breastfeed the baby because ICU has a lot of infections and all that. So we had to look for an alternative.
Luckily, Resti came to learn about Alisa Taha and Tracy Ahumuza's organization, the Atta Breast Milk Community, who could offer the much-needed help. She quickly enrolled and her baby started receiving breast milk from a donor. Atta Breast Milk Community was started in 2021 by a mother whose newborn baby girl underwent surgery immediately after birth or who do drugs. Sadia Hussein Mulangwa is a mother of two and a breast milk donor. She says after giving birth to her first child, she didn't produce enough breast milk and had to initially keep her newborn on formula milk.
The fulfillment that I will get from this, knowing that I'm saving a life somewhere or giving better health or just a better living to a helpless child, I'm like, what bigger sadaka is there than that, really?
Dr. Doreen Mazakwe, a medical doctor and lactation specialist, says newborn babies should be fed on demand, especially preterm babies. With a growing number of mothers giving birth to premature babies,
research has shown that preterm donated milk is best suited. Rather, a preterm is better off getting milk from a preterm mother because that milk is different from the mother who is producing mature milk.
The Atta Breast Milk Community says they have helped over 500 babies over the past 3 years, providing 800 liters of milk from cause to 150 donors. Halima Othmani for VOA News, Kampala, Uganda.
Dr. Jessica Nash is Associate Medical Director of Children's National Anacostia in Washington, D.C. She discusses the benefits and challenges of breastfeeding.
I think oftentimes we are just thinking of breastfeeding for infant nutrition, But one of the things that we know why breastfeeding is the preferred choice for feeding infants is that it has many different benefits, not only for the infant, but also the mother too. So one of the great things to think about is that breast milk and its components, meaning the nutrients, the vitamins, and the immune and antibody factors that breast milk has that cannot be replicated in formula, in infant formulas, is that those antibodies are important in protecting infants from things like GI, diarrheal illnesses. It also decreases the incidence of lower respiratory tract infections, so things like pneumonia. There are some things that have shown increased IQ. So it helps with the brain development, and these are factors that cannot necessarily be found in formula. There are very few reasons why mothers cannot breastfeed, but there are some indications where mothers may choose medically why they can't breastfeed. And some of the ones that we tend to think about mostly are mothers who may be using illicit drugs. So if a mother is using substances like opioids or substances like cocaine, some of these illicit drugs, we may recommend a mother not to breastfeed. There are some relative risks, so things like HIV, which we know now over the last couple of years, depending on where you are and depending on the risks, that is not what we call a complete contraindication, meaning that a mother can't breastfeed if she has HIV. But there are certain reasons why a mother may need not to breastfeed. Oftentimes, some moms say, I don't have enough milk, and so they turn to things like donor milk, which is still we're having some difficulty making sure that donor milk is available for all people who need it. As of right now, in places like the US, donor milk is for usually preterm infants in the hospital. But some moms have taken it upon themselves because they want to support others or they have huge milk supply. So they offer milk to other moms. And so the one issue to think about with donor milk is it safe? Has it been tested? And can it be given to another infant? In some instances, some people are donating to their sister or they're donating to a colleague. And of course, there's always an inherent risk.
How long do you believe mothers should breastfeed their babies, and what role do you think fathers or partners should play in supporting breastfeeding? Here are some reactions from Nigeria and Kenya.
A maximum and minimum of 2 years. Reasons being that breast milk has all the essential nutrients a child needs, especially for brain development and also for every form of development for a child. And then the breast milk has already been formed by the mother's body and broken down to the barest absorption units for the baby. So it helps for the baby's digestive system to, grow after childbirth.
I think 2 years is fine, maximum, exclusive, 2 years. As a man, you cannot support with anything, you don't have breast. Just be there giving her moral support and that's all, cheering her up. Normally, provision, you give woman belly, you give provision, you buy tire. You go buy tire.
The emotional support, the presence. The father should always be there when he can, actually. And if he cannot be, let them have an understanding. Let the wife understand that he doesn't have the means to be there, but he should always be supportive in any way he can.
He should always be there for his wife. His husband should try to help his wife to give her good food so that she can maintain her diet and in order to keep the baby healthy.
I think a child should be breastfed between 6 months to 1 year. And I think because that is very good for their brain development and also that bond between mother and child, that's a very good period. But yeah, even longer, better, but ideally 6 to 1 year.
I think a child should be breastfed for 1.5 years. The reasons why I feel that is because breast milk has a lot of nutrients as compared to giving them packaged milk, and it will make them stronger, and it also creates a bond between a child and their parent.
For me, I think first of all, a child should be breastfed for 6 months exclusive, without water, without food, without anything. And for me, I think, again, you do it for 2 years.
The family setup. Because we find that most people have been deprived of what really matters. And I truly believe that by breastfeeding, you're able to bond with a child. In different continents, we find that mothers handle children differently. For our African society, we were kept in our bags. We never saw their faces. But in the American, in the states, in the other states, we find that children are kept in front.
According to the UN's most recent statistics, over 15% of children under the age of 18 in Malawi are orphans, due in part to the high prevalence of death from HIV and AIDS. Now, a group called the Zoe Foundation is trying to give these at-risk children a future. Reporting from Ndodani village in Lilongwe, Malawi, Chimwemwe Padata has more.
This is the Zoe Foundation, a place where more than 100 orphans and other vulnerable children in Malawi's Ndodani village can find shelter. 28-year-old Temwani Chirenga founded the organization, named after her own daughter. She is a teacher by profession, but wanted to do more.
I started the foundation because of the problems that many homeless orphans were facing, so I thought of starting the foundation to take care of them and provide their needs.
Chirenga says the foundation helps to give the children what they need for success later in life.
We are providing education, food, shelter, spiritual help, different skills like farming, tailoring, carpentry, and some other things.
Some teachers in the community, like Nyuma Banda, are now offering free education at the orphanage.
Most of the students have benefited in this year because they weren't going to school before. They were lacking maybe school funds, so most of them were just street kids. So with they coming in with this initiative, it has brought a big impact on them. Most of them are coming to school.
14-year-old Judith Zonzi is one of the children at the orphanage and says the foundation has made a difference in her life.
At first, I had nowhere to stay and no one looked after me. When I met my mom, Temwani Chirenga, my life greatly changed. She pays for my school fees and does a lot of things that I need in my life.
Child rights activists like Madalitso Jidumu Wanoi are supportive but says there is a role for government as well.
But then the question of sustainability comes into play because it is the same government that should provide guidelines that will ensure that these interventions are sustainable. Because if everyone wakes up or any organization decides to do that, and by the end of the day, if in the process they close, it causes problems to the government and Malawi in general.
Most orphanages in Malawi are private institutions that get government help to operate. The government says it holds the orphanages to a high standard of care.
Institutions which are caring for children should be able to recruit a skilled social worker who should be at that institution so that he can carry easily the duties that the ministry usually recommends for in providing care and protection to children.
Chirenga says she hopes to see more initiatives like hers focused on helping orphans in Malawi work towards a brighter future. Chimwemwe Padata, VOA News, Ndodani Village in Lilongwe, Malawi.
That's our show for today. For more health news, wellness tips, and medical breakthroughs, stay connected to Voice of America at voaafrica.com. You can follow me on X at Linochmudu. Until next time, stay well and strive to make every day a healthy day.